On our top stories, let's begin with the growing crisis at the southern border. Republican lawmakers are criticizing the current administration's rollback of Trump-era border policies. They're also calling on President Biden to restart border wall construction. Joining us now, Kansas Senator Roger Marshall, who visited the border last month. Senator, thanks for being with us this evening. What did you see when you were there?
Well, John, it's a crisis. It's a humanitarian crisis. It's a health crisis. It's a national security crisis. We've done humanitarian mission trips across the entire world, and this reminds me of a third world country where our doctors and nurses, our border guard is just overwhelmed by just the mass numbers of people. Even compared to when this was at its worst 3 years ago, I would imagine it's 4 to 5 times more crowded. The conditions are horrible right now, and this all goes back to President Biden reversing President Trump's policies, and almost immediately upon President Biden's inauguration, Mexico stopped cooperating and the floodgates are open now. Simply, we're just overwhelmed. The border guards are no longer able to do the job that they're supposed to be doing. Instead, those border guard folks are being nurses and moms to the kids and the folks that need help.
Why is it that President Biden and Vice President Harris, who after all has been put in charge of the border situation, why has neither one of them gone down there?
Well, that's the great question. I think that they want this situation. They want this crisis. They've done the political calculus. They think it helps their party, I guess. It simply it doesn't make sense. Certainly turning their back on the humanitarian issue alone, the kids that are being sexually abused, human trafficking, sold into slavery. Your listeners need to realize that for every person we catch, there's 2 more that are getting through the border, and those are probably the folks that, frankly, are the terrorists and folks, the drug runners, those types of people as well.
Chad Wolf had some suggestions on what the Biden administration should do. He, of course, served in DHS under President Trump. Listen to Chad Wolf now.
If they continue to treat this crisis as a capacity issue and continue to build more facilities and throw more and more money at it, it's only going to encourage additional numbers of migrants coming across that border. So we're in April now, so April, May, June, July, you're going to continue to see these numbers increase until they start to get serious about enforcement of our laws on that southern border, until they start treating the problem.
Does he have a point? I mean, the Biden administration is, requisitioning hotel rooms and housing migrants on military bases. It doesn't seem like there is a considered effort to simply try to stop them from crossing the border.
No, this will actually invite more. And again, Americans need to realize we're spending $50,000 to $70,000 per person coming across that border to shelter them, to get them doctors, nursing, all the supplies, all the foods that they need as well. So this is actually just putting more holes in the dam. We've got to fix the dam. When I flew along the border, it's just so frustrating to see hundreds of miles of wall built, but the gates are not in place yet. And I've been told by good sources that the federal government is now paying the contractors down there $40,000 a day to not work, to not finish the job as well. So this, whatever the solutions are about, it starts with securing our border. We need to finish the wall. We got to get those gates put in as well. We don't want to be inviting more. We just simply can't handle any more people right now.
Let's talk a little bit about the president's announcement this week that he's going to be appointing a commission to study the idea of increasing the number of justices, packing the Supreme Court. Your take on that?
Well, look, 9 is just fine. 9 is just fine. This is another example of a power grab, and frankly, it's hypocritical. Most of the senators on the Democrat side, the president himself, are pushing this, have been against this before, but now that they have a chance to pack the court, they're in favor of it. So it's a power grab. It would be very, very bad for this nation right now. This is not what we need. This is part of their far radical agenda that's going on. One more example of a power grab: H.R. 1 having to do with election law. That's a power grab that would put Democrats in control. Then they stack the court and they control all the different branches of the government. So it would be a sad, sad day for America.
Yeah, H.R. 1, part of the plan would be to grant statehood to Washington, D.C., right? You grant statehood to D.C., you've got 2 more Democratic senators and certainly a Democrat representative in the Senate in perpetuity.
Right. And we lose the filibuster along with that, and we end up with the packed Supreme Court. So the president is setting the stage. He ran as a moderate, but he's acting like an extreme liberal. So whoever's in charge of his policy, and it doesn't feel like it's him. It feels like there's somebody behind the scenes that's just doing this extreme radical policy, and this would be part of it.
Let's talk about Major League Baseball pulling the All-Star game out of Atlanta because of its perceived unfair new voting law. A number of businesses seem fine with that. Delta Airlines and other, Coca-Cola, they're also criticizing the new law. What's the effect of all that, do you think?
Well, I just want to put this in perspective. What is the value of getting to vote for the president of the United States? Once every 4 years, we get to vote for the president. At the same time, if I was going to go to the Major League Baseball game or to the All-Star game, I have to show my ID to get those tickets. So in comparison of the value, don't you think that the value of voting for the president of the United States has even more value in that? So look, I think the supermajority of Americans want election integrity and want some type of voter ID. And I think that's what this is about. And in the case of Georgia, they gave a safer, freer election, higher integrity, more access to voting. It actually probably just raised the bar from Georgia being maybe 45th in the nation for election integrity to raise it maybe to somewhere in the middle to 25th. I'm not sure how this will impact their businesses, but I can tell you I'm a huge baseball fan, was planning on going to the Nationals game here next week, and I've already had some people cancel on it because of it. Some of my favorite friends who we text each other when it's time for pitchers and catchers to report in spring training are telling me we're going to stop following baseball. So I think Americans will probably find other pastimes to go do. It's a sad day. I think people are overreacting. We're tired of being canceled. I think that's what we're really just sick of. Is this just seems hypocritical, and we're tired of being canceled. I don't mind being woke up on Sundays and my pastor kind of saying, here, think about what's going on, but we don't like being shook out of bed every day.
Play ball. Don't worry about the politics.
There you go.
Senator Roger Marshall, Republican of Kansas. Thank you, Senator.
Thank you.